souls, stripping your blood, raping the women, killing the men, raping the children. That's a die in this world. That is mine. I'm fucking trash. Something for you, don't try to hide. I'll push my way, right through the heart. I don't see you, faces cry, anger and fish, fight for the life. Annihilator. Drop the street, it's better stop the street. Like to me to death, the one that gives me death, the one that belongs dead. Shoot the dark snap on my leg.
Fuck yeah! Fucking Annihilator. Episode 34, jamming out all badass. I decided to sneak another one in right before the year was up. I didn't know if I was going to do any more this calendar year, but here we are. I'm glad this one worked out. Annihilator fucking rules. Alex rules. So I'm glad this is happening. Another badass episode in store. Excited about this one like all of them. So thanks for hanging out. Tell everybody to come hang out with us. All you little boys and girls out there, get your pen and paper and get ready for a history lesson in Texas metal, man. So yeah, like I said, jamming out all badass. My name is Francisco. Nobody cares. So I am doing something tomorrow. It's going to be like a little hangout with a bunch of maniacs. Tune in for that. People that have been on the show already that are coming back for a minute, or new people that haven't been on the show yet. So let's so that's going to be badass. It's going to be cool. Let's be doing that. But today, so we're going to be talking some thrash, Texas metal, all kinds of shit. Corpus Christi getting love. So hell yeah. So Alex will be on shortly. Before I bring him on, just a reminder. Oh, tell everybody to come hang out. I think I may have mentioned that already. Come check it out. The more the merrier. Ask your questions in the chat. Pancho's Mexican buffet. So ask your questions in the chat. If it's not too stupid, I'll get to it. Because I know there's a lot of you where I know how you fuckers are. So anyhow, but before that, just a reminder, Sound Exchange in Houston. Support the coolest record store in Houston, Sound Exchange on Milby. Been at that location now for, I guess, a little over a year now. Always supporting the show, always supporting the Houston bands, supporting labels, supporting everybody. That's what they do. So in turn, everybody should support them. Go to the store, go to soundexchangehouston.com for all their, you can find everything there. If you're in Houston, go down to the damn store on Milby, like I said, and tell them I sent you by. Kurt and Kevin are cool as hell, and it's cool that they support the show. So let's make sure we return the favor and support them. All right. So now, see, before I bring them on, see if there's anything I forgot. If you're on the Instagrams, there's Jamming Out All Badass Instagram. I always post all the flyers and everything that's coming up on there. So follow that page on the Instagram. All right. So here we go. Just reading the comments. All right. Anyway. All right. So like I said, I've been sharing the flyers around and letting everybody know. Alex has been part of the fucking underground metal scene for a long fucking time, longer than probably a lot of you on here have even been born. So definitely knows a thing or two about underground metal and thrash and death and whatever. Got many stories to share. I can't wait for him to share them. So everybody stand up and please welcome Alex Dominguez. What's up, Alex?
What's going on, Francisco?
How we doing, brother?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Appreciate you having me on here, man. Thanks a lot.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is a no-brainer for me, man. I mean, being from Texas, got to support all the Texas shit that I like, So your bands are no exception. Definitely one of my favorites. So it's cool to have you on here and so we could chit chat and I can, pick your brain about things and talk about, what you got going on and, what you've done in the past and all that. So, first off, growing up, like, how did music get introduced to you? Were your family members, like parents or whatever, like musicians? Were they into music a lot, or how did music first kind of come into your world?
I guess since I was at a young age, my parents, two different types of music. My dad was always into, I don't know if they called it Tejano back then, but I guess Spanish music, and my mom was into her like Elvis Presley, and I can't even remember Patsy Cline and stuff like that. Just different kind of genres there. Nobody really in my family were musicians except, I can't say that. My oldest brother, he plays saxophone, or he did, like in high school, and I shared a room with him, so it was weird because a lot of the stuff that he listened to was like jazz stuff. So like when I started playing guitar, I would sit there and put a record on and try to pick up the song or whatever. He would do the same thing but on saxophone. So it was weird, I mean, he was like one of those all-state dudes and this and that. Later on, graduated and became a band director, and then I guess I got some influence from him, but I mainly, it was AM radio back then. I mean, that's how old I am, no FM. AM radio and just my sister's music at first is how I got introduced to just music in general.
Hell yeah. Do you remember like some of the earlier, like some of the bands that caught your attention, like, or songs, since you said it was on the radio, like, because I know, radio was a big thing. It was kind of like the only thing, right? So do you remember kind of what band or what sounds kind of drew you in at an early age?
I guess it was a lot of my sisters were listening to like Sean Cassidy, and I mean old shit like that. I would hear them playing their little 45s, and I can't really remember. I mean, just I guess it was the 70s, so I want to say maybe a lot of disco, I guess, my sisters weren't rockers or anything like that. So it was a lot of, I guess, whatever was popular back then. Ball Cherry, or, Chicago, I guess, and stuff like that. I didn't really get introduced to heavier, not even heavier, to like, I guess, like regular rock music until I guess I was maybe in 7th grade. My brother-in-law, he had just got out of the Marines, and he came, and him and my sister moved into my mom's house. So he bought all these albums, and I'm not supposed to touch them, but of course I went into his collection. He had shit like Led Zeppelin, The Song Remains the Same album. He had I think like some Foreigner. I can't even think what else he had. ZZ Top, stuff like that. So that's where I picked up more on the heavier guitar-oriented stuff, I guess you could say. At the time, I mean, that was, I guess, all there was that I knew about until, later on in junior high. That's when I got introduced, this one kid that I went to school with named Mike. I can't remember his last name. He came in and he bought me, I think it was 3 albums. One was a Jimi Hendrix album. One was a Motorhead album, and one was a UFO album. He said, listen to these. He goes, they're going to change your life. I was like, whatever, First one I put on was Jimi Hendrix. I hated it. I was like, what the fuck's all that noise? Later on in life, I learned to appreciate it when I got older.
Yeah, of course.
In 7th grade, 8th grade, I was just like, what the fuck's that shit? It's all, too noisy or whatever. UFO, really, between UFO and Motorhead, I just totally changed my life after that,
Oh yeah. So was that so that was around what year was that?
Ooh, shit, dude, you made me think. I want to say when I was 16, it was, god damn, dude, I don't even remember. 7th grade. I graduated. I mean, you made me think back, guy. Too much headbanging. I can't even remember what year that even was, man. I'll tell you the truth. Shit.
Well, yeah. Fraser acting like he likes UFO and Motorhead. He's being a poser already. Fraser, you didn't even know who that is, Fraser.
Like he's from England or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Shit. So do you remember like what were some of the, do you remember like the first album maybe, or first tape or 8-track or whatever it was that you may have gotten for yourself, and like where you got it? Like where would you get music at back then?
There was a couple of stores. Actually, there was one by my house called it was called Dirty Dave's. It was a head shop / record store, and they sold clothes in it and stuff like that. It was off of this one street in Corpus Christi called 6 Points. And one day after school, I think I was walking home, I just walked in there and I was like, wow, I don't know what the hell half the shit was in the head shop. I was like, kind of bypassed that and went into the other room where they had all these albums and stuff. And I think the first thing that caught my eye, I bought it on cassette, was Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing that caught my eye. And then after that, little by little, I would walk in there and kind of buy stuff judging by the cover of it instead of really knowing what they were. But it was in the rock section. I don't even know it was labeled metal. I think it was just like rock section. And I used to go in there and, I picked up some like Judas Priest, At Wings of Destiny, and, other stuff that I can't think of right now. But that's where I used to. That was my first one, was Black Sabbath. Was the Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah. How long did these stores like I guess stay open? Do you remember like these? Because obviously record store. I mean, I mentioned Sound Exchange. Record stores are kind of a dying thing nowadays. So
yeah.
I mean, and I don't know how long these stores like stayed open back then.
Back then, there were, during the 80s, music was, you could get it on, 8-track still, I think. When I was going in there, it was 8-track. It was albums. It was, I guess cassettes came a little further down the line, but there was always music, and there was no, it was not like, I think the reasons a lot of record stores ended up, just closing their doors and just becoming extinct was because at the time, the internet came into play and people just started getting shit off the internet and just kind of like, getting away from buying stuff, where only like a few collectors and a few people that were the diehards would actually go to the record stores and buy a new release, whether it was on album or, either of the other formats, you know. And I think this was a mom and pop store. So, I mean, I know during the 80s, it lasted for a while. I mean, people used to go in there, buy concert tickets. Plus, they also
man.
Plus, they also had other revenue to keep them open. If they weren't just selling records, they were selling like, you know, water pipes and 7,000 different rolling papers and
all the essentials,
like whippets or whatever they were called back then. I don't know, biscuit or whatever, but they had, you know, some backup, you know, revenue coming in. So there was that place. It was Dirty Dave's, and then there was another place later on that popped up was Craig's Record Factory, and that one was like almost the size of a supermarket, dude. That
wow, badass.
Fucking albums from A to, you know, metal, all kinds. I mean, every genre you can think of back then. That was, I want to say in about the 82, probably 80, 81, somewhere around there. I mean, it was a huge thing. I feel bad because I think about it. I used to get my mom to take me over there because I didn't drive yet, or I didn't have a car to drive. I had a license. She would park in summer in the hot sun, dude, roll down the windows in the car. I'd get out and I'd start from A all the way to fucking Z, then go into the imports and it's like 103 degrees, dude, outside. My mom would be in the car doing her crossword puzzle, and I'd just go through the record store and get what I needed, and then, okay, let's go. And 2 days later, can you take me back? You know, like it's funny though. But yeah, they lasted quite a bit, those stores, you know.
That's cool. Hell yeah, dude.
Even the ones in the mall that later on down the line came into play were like Record Bar, and there was another one called Camelot where a lot of stuff there. Like I think at that place, Record Bar, I bought my first Metal Force magazine that had been seen there for probably like a year.
Oh wow!
You know, it was the first edition, and it had been seen there for like a year and a half. It was outdated, but I mean, I still bought it and sat and wrote to bands and shit like that. You know.
Okay, you got to appreciate mom waiting for you for fucking hours while you fucking flip through records and shit.
I used to sit there and read. I used to sit there and read the lyrics to "Welcome to Hell" to her in the kitchen while she was drinking her coffee. And after I was done, she would just say, you know, she'd shake her head and say, "Just don't be a dumbass and listen to, you know, believe all the lyrics that you're reading. You know? Don't go kill a baby or don't go sacrifice this or that. Just, you know, it's You know, she was cool about it, man. Let me skip school to go to concerts, all kinds of shit.
That's badass. So you mentioned like playing guitar and your brother playing sax. Now, what led you to like pick up a bass? Like, was it just you were starting the band, or you know what led you to a bass guitar?
I took guitar lessons like in junior high, which I sucked at it. I wasn't any guy. I really didn't pay attention to learn. You know, I wasn't disciplined enough to sit there. I wanted an electric guitar. My mom told me, this was like 7th grade. She told me, hey, I'll get you an electric guitar if you promise me you'll bring up your grades, because my grades were like, you know, I mean, I just wasn't into school. But and then she said, you know, if you bring up your grades, you know, and I'll stick you in guitar lessons at one of the guitar stores. You know, you sit there and practice, do your homework. I'll get you an electric guitar for Christmas. I got my grades up. Back then, it was like you could get a D and still pass in high school. It was like fucking low, you know. I mean, I squeaked by with a D, and I raised it to like a low C. So, long story short, she got me a guitar, and I ended up quitting lessons and just trying to learn on my own. But getting back to what you had said, it actually took Rodney Dunsmore from Devastation to get me to switch, because I mean, playing guitar in my bedroom, I'd always say, man, I've ever had a band, and you know, I would start coming up with names and this and that, but I never really had the balls enough to step out and try to form a band, because I never knew how to even start one, you know. And Rodney, after I had met Rodney I met Rodney at concerts, man. I would see him, and we would go early, and because it's general admission, we would go early to, like, you know, Triumph show, or, you know, back then Judas Priest or whatever it may be. We'd spend the night sometimes at the door to be the first to get in the front row, because I was one of those people that used to take a lot of pictures at shows. And I met Rodney there, you know, in line, and we used to keep in touch, and we'd cross paths in the mall, and he would tell me, hey, you know, Exciter's playing, and nobody. I mean, there was only like maybe 3 or 4 people, maybe 5 that I knew about like that kind of underground at the time, you know.
Yeah.
So Rodney would tell us like, hey, you know, it's Exciter and Mercyful Faith are playing, you know, with Motorhead here, or Slayer's playing here, you know.
Yeah. In Corpus? You would get those shows in Corpus?
No.
Oh.
These were all shows in San Antonio.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, who the hell's booking Exciter in Corpus back in like 80?
Corpus never got shit, man. I mean, till later on, you know, further down in years, it was. I mean, we had a concert hall that held maybe 4,000, 5,000 people, and you'd get, you know, like, you know, my first concert, it was 8th grade, was Van Halen and Black Sabbath Never Say Die tour.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first concert. And in fact, I even lied to my mom and told her, hey, I got homework. I got to go do it at a friend's house. Okay, you know. And
yeah, I've done that before.
And I walked in there, my first concert. And it's like, dude, you know, the whole place is like one big ass fucking pop fest and beach balls. And just, I mean, I was just like, what the fuck do I do? You know, it was like,
sounds like a Splatteria show.
Yeah.
Beach ball.
It'd be fucking glitter flying everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was Rodney, actually, he formed Devastation, and he called me up and he said, hey, you know, I'm starting a band. I was all like, cool. And he's all like, I got this guy named Dave Burke on guitar, who used to play with one of the first bands to ever kind of like, they were more like a traditional heavy metal band with like high pitched vocals like King Diamond. And they were actually like the first band there was nowhere to play back in the early 80s. There was nowhere to play in Corpus, but like, I mean, bars, cantinas, you know.
Yeah.
Come on in, you know, they charged, you know, so much to get in, and they would, you know, the band would set up in the corner of a small place and play. A lot of cover bands, you know, that would play like Scorpions and stuff like that or whatever. This band actually was the first band called Final Assault to play originals, and they would rent dance halls and do like real shows, you know.
Yeah.
So they would get like, you know, 500, 600 people, you know, 400 people.
So Final Assault, I don't mean to cut you off, but Final Assault was pretty much would you say the first like underground band in Corpus?
Yeah. There was other ones like, I mean, there was a local band there called Purple Mushroom that put out, I mean, they were kind of like freestyle too. You know, the singer used to come out in like a cape with a Alice Cooper type snake around his neck. And, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, damn, it's badass, you know, and this shit.
Yeah.
But Final Assault was the one. Rodney actually started managing Final Assault. He's the one, Rodney Dunsmore from Devastation. He's the one that kind of took him to the next level. So he saw that and he was like, man, I guess, you know, I want to make a band myself too. So he called me up, said, I got the guitar player for Final Assault, Dave Burke. And he goes, I got this guy named Jesse Lopez, El Ross, on drums. And he said, I want to know if you want to join. I said, yeah, dude, I got a guitar. I'll get bigger equipment. I just had small practice amps. He said, well, the thing is, I don't need another guitar player. We're just going to do one. He said, I need a bass player. I said, okay. You know, I was like, I'll do it. Fuck it. You know, went and asked my mom, because I mean, I wasn't working at the time. I was like, went and asked my mom, hey, can you get me some band equipment? I need a bass guitar and an amp. She was like, yeah, all right.
Badass. All right, so I'm gonna stop you there because we'll get into Devastation in a minute. But I wanted to ask about some of these photos that I stole from your like social media page that fucking blew my mind. And you talked about taking photos like concerts when you were, I guess, before you were even in a band. And this one right here, man. Talk about this.
Oh yeah, I was like third row at that was, I think, Ozzy and UFO, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
I just happened to have I mean, it was hard getting shots from the third row because everybody's standing on their seats and stuff back then. So I got lucky when I actually got that angle and got Randy Rhoads and
yeah, dude, that's fucking amazing. That's fucking insane. Yeah. And where was this, in San Antonio?
No, actually that was Corpus. Corpus did get like, the Journeys and the AC/DCs and the Gods and fucking UFO, Triumph, Rush. The regular bands would come through there. I think we were more like a second tier market where San Antonio, they would go through San Antonio, the bigger cities first, and then we would probably get like the second leg of the tour.
Yeah. So what was up? What was you were really close to Randy there. What was that fucking like? I can only imagine seeing that live, man.
Man, it was incredible, man. I mean, that dude was a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, you just listen to, his work.
Yeah.
It sucks. He died at such a young age and still had a lot more to show. But it was one of those concerts that, just don't forget, man. The energy, just they were on point. They were, fucking a well-oiled machine at the time. I guess.
And what tour was this?
Before we got to Corpus.
What tour was that? Was that a Diary of a Madman?
I believe so.
Damn, that's fucking unreal, man. All right, so now this one here. Hold on. So let me ask you about this one. Did you actually? So what? How were you able to take this one?
A friend of mine, we decided to go look for Ozzy. We wanted to, I guess, meet Ozzy, and we found out where they were staying, and we knocked on the door. That this friend of ours that worked at the hotel told us that the room Ozzy was staying in. We knocked on the door, and this dude came out, and I was like, "Oh shit," fucking Randy Rhoads. And I took the picture. I held my friend's camera. I took the picture. He was getting something autographed, and then sure enough, the roadies or the security guards were like, "Hey, what are y'all doing here?" We took off, running out the fucking fire escape exit down, or the stairs down, and we took off. So, everybody's like, "What did he say?" And what did you talk to him? Did you ask him this? And I said, "No, dude, there's no time." It's like, bing, bing, bing. He opens the door, like, "Oh shit." My friend,
but you were able to snap a fucking photo though. That's amazing.
So it was like, click, sign something, and then we had to take off. Man.
Holy shit. That's unreal, man. Yeah, I saw those. I was like, holy shit, fucking Randy Rhoads, like right in front of you. It's fucking insane, man. And so what were some of the other like I guess memorable shows that you remember like attending back then?
One of them I had to go to McAllen to see. This one was Judas Priest on Point of Entry and Iron Maiden for Killers.
Oh, fuck.
Iron Maiden was opening up for Priest.
Well, damn.
So that was that was just.
So you saw Paul Di'Anno live.
And then another one that was memorable was there's so many, man. Bigger concerts, I would have to say, like anytime Priest played, I saw him for like Unleashed in the East, British Steel. Anytime Priest played, they put on a fucking badass show. Black Sabbath with the Born Again tour with Ian Gillan was badass.
Oh, you saw that? Wow.
Yeah. It's weird because that place
rare, man.
4,000, 5,000 people, and dude, there's probably maybe like 800 people there. There was hardly
no shit. Oh wow.
Hardly anybody. Dio always put on a good show.
Well, I have these.
Metallica lost, man. That was a fucking.
That's what I have here.
Ride the Lightning tour. Yeah, that picture was taken in San Antonio the next day because I saw him in Corpus. It was weird because they were opening up for Wasp in Corpus. And then the next day was them and Armored Saint, and they were headlining in San Antonio at this place called the Cameo Theater. And they sold out like 5 shows in a row. I think it was 5 or 4 at that place. And this was day one. And we so happened to find, just driving around, killing time, we got to San Antonio early. We saw some tour buses at this La Quinta downtown. And I said, I bet you that's them. So me, this friend of mine named Edward Vasquez, which later on went on to take my place in Devastation, was me, Edward Vasquez, and his brother Gus. And we parked in the parking lot. We're just sitting there, just killing time because we had nowhere really to go, and it was pretty early. I'd say like 1 o'clock and shit. And this car drives up, right? And they park, and they open the door. These chicks get out, dude, and like lace and high heels and all this
What?
hair and shit. And there's like 4 of them, right? Or yeah, there's like 4 of them. And they go up the stairs and they go straight to the room. They start knocking on the door. Kirk Hammett opens the door, right? And starts bitching at him. Dude, he's like telling them shit. And they're like, just standing there, like looking, and we're like observing from a distance, right?
Yeah.
Kirk Hammett slams the door, bam, and those chicks are like, when he slams the door next to him opens up. And it's fucking Lars and Cliff Burton, and they're like, "Hey, come on in." They bring the chicks in their room. So we're laughing, and we're kicking back by the car. Well, as soon as they go into the room, Kirk Hammett opens the door, I guess, to see if the those chicks were still out there. And when he peeked out, he looked down, he saw us sitting by the car, and he looks at us and he goes, "Fuck you all, fuck you, motherfucker!" Start throwing us the rod, and he goes, "Yeah." And we're like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?" Whatever. So we waited there a little bit more to see if they'd come out and we could take some pictures with them or get an autograph or whatever. So Kirk Hammett comes walking out, dude, and next to the La Quinta there was a Kmart, and he comes walking out in like sweats and reading glasses and a leather jacket, and he starts walking across the street. So we kind of follow him, not too close. We're like, hey, maybe he'll sign something for us, or we can take a picture with him or whatever. So he walks into Kmart, and we're waiting outside, and then he comes walking out, and he walks right by us, and we're like, "Hey, Kirk." And he turns around, and I go, "Hey, you mind if we take a picture with you?" And he's all like, "Well, man, I'm not dressed right now."
What?
I'll take one with you guys. I'll take one with you guys. We get, we're getting ready to go on the bus. I'll take one with you guys, and I'm not dressed right now. I'm like, "What the fuck? You're not dressed right now?" I was just kind of threw me back, and I was like, "Okay." And then he said, "By the way, were you the guys I threw the fucking finger to out there in the parking lot?" I go, I spoke up. I said, "Yeah, that was us." He goes, "Hey, man, in California, we always fuck around like that. I didn't mean nothing by it." And I said, "Well, here in Texas, you get your ass kicked." And he kind of looked at me like that, and then he just like, "I'll take a picture of y'all," and he just walked off like, he'll take a picture of us later.
Well, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and so we go back, and we're waiting there, and then we see Lars coming out, walking up and down the stairs and stuff. So I went up to Lars, and I asked him, and he was cool. He was like, "Yeah, man," he fucking actually choked the shit out of me when I was taking So I took a picture with Lars, and my friends took pictures with them. And then James Hetfield, he let us, he was by the bus. He took pictures with us.
Yeah.
Everyone didn't want us to take pictures for some reason. He was cool talking to him, but he didn't want to, I guess, take a picture with us, or just wasn't in the mood or whatever. Finally, Kirk Hammett came down all dressed up like he was supposed to be dressed up. He was with some chick, and he walks like down the stairs. We go, "Hey, Kirk, take a picture," and he just like looks, blows us off, gets in the truck, and takes off.
What? Damn, you would expect that's something you would expect, like maybe Lars to do. I never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, Lars was cool as fuck, man. Lars was actually cool. James was cool. I mean, it was right at the Lightning Tour, so it was probably their second album.
Is this photo from that show?
That one is from the night before. That one is from when they opened up for Wasp at this place called the Ritz Theater.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a cool photo. Nobody ever asked you like to use these photos for anything?
They meant what?
Have you ever like submitted these photos to anybody for anything? Like
I had a friend grab a bunch of them from me, and he submitted them to that what's it called? That DVD documentary, Get Thrashed. So,
oh, really? Did they use them?
I think they go too really fast at the end. I can't really tell, but my name's under photos. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh man. How about somebody wants to ask asking about Mercyful Fate. Do you have any stories from that Mercyful Fate Exciter? Any memories? And Motorhead?
No, I remember the only thing odd about that one thing was Hank Sherman. I don't know if the dude was on something or what, dude. But he came out playing, and I could have sworn his shirt that he was playing, it looked like it was a pink shirt where the sleeve was cut off, hanging on his shoulder. And I don't know, dude. It just everybody. The show was over and everybody took off, and he still stood there like diddling with his guitar after the show was over for a little bit, and I don't know. That was about the weirdest thing. Besides, just I mean, it was a great show. Motorhead, of course. I mean, Exciter, Mercyful Faith. I mean, we did though. We kind of got fucked on a meet and greet. We decided Motorhead was going to have a meet and greet at one record store in San Antonio, and then Mercyful Faith was going to have a meet and greet at another store. So we're like, fuck it, let's go. I want to meet, I want to take a picture with Lemmy. I'd rather go on with the Motorhead meet and greet. So we waited in line. They wouldn't let anybody in for hours, dude. And finally, some dude came out and said, "Oh, there's no meet and greet." And everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Yeah, Lemmy got too fucked up and passed out at the hotel. I was like, "Fuck!" And then we kind of saw Rodney later on in the show, and he's all like, "I took pictures with King Diamond. I took pictures with Murder." Again, that's Rodney from Devastation, just in case.
When I had Louis on the show, he talked about that show. It's probably the same show that you were at. Louis Carrizales.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, I found one more. This is you and obviously Gary Holt. What's going on here?
Oh yeah, that's they have played at the place where Metallica and a lot of bands used to play, called the Ritz, and I think that was during Pleasures of the Flesh tour, if I'm not mistaken. I think, and he was just, I mean, it's a small place. He was walking around. I just hit him up real quick, like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you?" And he was like, "Yeah, cool." Took a snap.
Who's the guy? Who's the kid in the back? He looks like he's 10 or something.
I don't know, man. The people were trying to get in the picture. The photo bomb was like actual thing.
They were photo bombing way back when.
Yeah, way back in the ancient Polaroid days where you got to shake that shit.
Was that with Celtic Frost, that show?
I think so. I think it was.
My buddy Charles. Oh, and Charles mentioned earlier that Night Ranger opened up for Sabbath on that Born Again tour.
I don't remember who actually was the opening act. I can't remember who the opening act was for that show.
Yeah, that's
a good question. I can't remember on the Born Again tour.
Cool. All right, so you were starting to get into Devastation, like forming the band. I guess speak a little bit about kind of getting the band together. What you guys were, I guess, what you wanted to accomplish with the band. What was going on way back in, what was that, 86, 85, 86?
85, I think it was like 85 into 86. Well, I was only with them for like, I want to say probably about a year and some change.
Right.
And then I ended up getting replaced. It was my first band, and I didn't know, there's a certain ethnic when you're in a band that you got to show up to practice instead of chasing tail or. So a lot of times they would practice. We would practice at my house a lot of times. My dad had built a 2-story garage, and the top he wanted to use for his, his friends, put a bar up there, pool table, play poker, whatever. He never got to use that room because I moved in there with Devastation. We used it as a practice room, and a lot of times they would practice because Rodney worked nights, so a lot of times they would practice like 12 noon to 1 o'clock. Well, 1 o'clock, 12 noon to like 1 or 2 in the afternoon before Rodney had to split and go to work, and the other dudes did whatever they had to do. So at that time, I was going out with some chick from high school, so I would go pick her up during that time and during lunch, and I would say, "I got to work," or this and that. Anyway, I just had no discipline, and they just got tired of it. I don't blame them.
This is the first lineup, right?
Yes.
That photo that I sent you.
Yep, that's the first lineup.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you remember where that photo was taken? In front of a brick wall, obviously, but
like in front of a school, maybe somebody's high school, junior high. If I can remember right, or maybe even Rodney's apartment on the side of the building or something like that. Yeah. I mentioned to you about the names, how it says Jesse Ross on the bottom, and I always just remember like Jesse Lopez or whatever, so that made me laugh too. So,
Yeah, man.
He still gets it to this day. Everybody's like, you know, they'll see him like coming, watch out, El Ross. I love the dude, man. He's a good guy, man. He fucking solid dude, man.
Yeah. So you guys ended up, you recorded the, let's sometimes I like to play some stuff on here. So let's play a little bit of that. See if you have what memories you have of when listening to this and about recording and everything. So here's Massive Devastation from the first demo. Let's check it out. All right. That probably takes you way back, huh?
Oh yeah.
So what do you remember about that recording? Like where that recording session and I guess talk a little bit about that.
That recording, I know those, like some of those songs were written like I said, in the garage where we used to practice at my house. And the recording, if I'm not mistaken, this friend of ours named George Blay, he recorded it for us. I think it was like he had two mics and he threw them over because the garage apartment didn't have sheetrock. It was just like a shell.
Yeah.
You know, my dad hadn't put sheetrock in it or anything like that, so the roof was exposed and you could see the beams across. I think they threw hung two mics over the beams. And, he had a reel-to-reel player, and we recorded it off of that, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's been a long time. I think that's how we did that. And
how long did it take you to get that done? Do you remember?
I think it was like a day. I mean, I think it took a day. It didn't take two. It didn't take long because we all played together, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's not like, yeah, we all were in the same room. I mean, just standing around and he picked up, I guess, the live jam.
So that was pretty much your first time recording anything, right?
Oh yeah, man. I had no experience with being in a band whatsoever, and
well, sounds like Dave Burke was the only one that really was in the band, right?
Yeah.
In the lineup.
Yeah, Dave was the only one who had stage experience and had had played in front of people. Me and Rodney, I don't know. Jesse had played in a couple of El Ross. Just got played in a couple of I think backyard bands and stuff, but nothing big. So it's funny that you say that because me and Rodney were the virgins of the, we'd never been in front and played in front of anybody. So after we had been together for, I want to say maybe a month, I could be wrong on the day, but after we had been together for maybe a month and a half, one day he comes into practice, he said, "Hey, I got us our first gig." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I mean, our first gig, that's badass," thinking maybe a backyard party or, somebody's garage or something, He said, "Yeah, so we'll, everybody's like, what's the first gig?" He said, "We're opening up for Hellstar and Anthrax."
Oh, shit.
Like, how the fuck? And he's all, "Yeah, we got that, playing at this place where you saw the Gary Holt picture and the Cliff Burton place called the Ritz, which was an old movie theater converted into a venue." And I was like, "Oh, shit," So Rodney was like, "Man, me and you have never played in front of anybody." So the night before the show, we went to somebody's storage unit and invited some people over, and we did the set in front of those people that were there that actually showed up. And that was like our first, all right, our cherries busted. Shit, we played in front of like 20 people. We're ready. So we get to the Ritz, right? And they tell us to load up after Anthrax set up their shit. So I walk in the back of the venue to go up to the stage, and I have a little fucking, I think it was a 12 speaker cabinet Sun amp with everything built in, no head, no nothing.
Right.
So I'm wheeling it up the ramp to put it up on stage. You can hear the wheels squeaking, going squeak, 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 squeak. While I'm pushing it up there, I stop and look, and there's fucking stacks and stacks of camouflage Marshalls, dude. Anthrax's shit is up there. I'm with a little fucking amp pushing up there. I was, oh shit, man. But
wow.
I guess, I can't even remember if I had butterflies or not. I just remember when the lights went out and those people just started screaming, and it just the adrenaline kicked in, and that was it, man. It was on,
So first show opening for fucking Anthrax. That's
Anthrax and Hellstar. I was like, oh shit.
And Hellstar.
I think it was Spreading the Disease, Anthrax, and I think Hellstar was I guess Burning Star, the first one?
Yeah. Was this is this photo from that show by any chance?
No, that one is somewhere in San Antonio. I don't know where exactly it was. I think, and I can't even remember who we opened up for. But that was a show somewhere in San Antonio.
Is that the bass? Is that the bass that your mom bought you that you asked about?
Yeah. My brother was really good because my brother had, I think, started college at the time, and he was real good friends with the owner of this place called Galvan Music. They sold nothing but stuff for like Tejano bands, or I mean, it seemed that way. They catered more to that crowd than rock. My brother went in there, and he, I told him what I wanted, and he, got me a pretty good discount. And
what kind is that?
That's the bass. That was part of the stuff my mom had bought.
What kind of bass was it?
Dude, it was called a Phantom. I don't even know who the fuck made it. I think it was the cheapest thing I didn't want to, spend too much because my mom was buying it.
Yeah, well, it looks metal. It looks metal as fuck, though.
Huh?
I said it looks metal as fuck.
Yeah, it was a pretty good bass, man. I mean, I didn't know anything about sound and all that, so I'm pretty sure my sound was shitty back then. So
do you still have it?
Oh no, man.
Okay.
All that stuff, I ended up taking it apart, thinking I was gonna paint it a different color and do this and that. Those projects that never it still stayed apart, and I just fuck it, I don't want to know. I just getting me another bass.
So how many shows did you end up doing with them before you weren't in the band anymore?
I want to say maybe 3, 4, because back then shows were like really spread out.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just get on your Facebook thing and say, hey, I want to play next week or I want to play next month. A lot of times it was corresponding through snail mail, or if you were lucky enough to have a telephone, calling, the other person, another band up out of town and all that.
Yeah. So how did I guess talk to us a little bit about like forming Annihilator, because it was pretty much shortly after that, right? I mean, it wasn't too long after you weren't in Devastation anymore. You got Annihilator going, right?
Yeah, I ended up getting kicked out of Annihilator, and then that girl that I got in trouble, I was always with, and got kicked out of Annihilator for, out of Devastation for, ended up like splitting and going with some other dudes. I was like, damn, no band, no girl, whatever. So it was like a loser deal right there, man. I was just, shit. So anyway, I decided to form my own band. I kind of learned a lot of stuff. I paid attention to a lot of stuff Rodney did, because sometimes I would go with him to print out flyers, or him making the cassette and the cover and all that stuff.
Right.
I kind of paid attention to the details of that and carried it over to Annihilator. So before I could even start a band, I needed to come up with a name, right? And I was like, fuck, what can I do? And one day I was sitting at, I don't know where I was sitting, at a kitchen table or the dining room table or something. I started, what can I said, hey, that sounds badass, Annihilator. So I ended up spelling it like I thought you spell it the right way. I'm a shitty speller, because it came out to the way I spell it now.
Yeah.
To the way the Canadian band.
Yeah.
There's a Canadian band out there called that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I had some dude at a show last year, the year before, in Dallas. We had walked in with our equipment. I was setting up my merch booth, and the dude comes up to me and he goes, "Here, just in case you didn't know," he hands me a Allison. What is it?
Alice in Hell.
Alice in Hell CD. And I looked at it and I started laughing. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I know." I said, "They're the badass band." And he was all like, "Turns out the dude was from Canada," but he ended up, it was, a real it could have been like an asshole move, but I found it funny. So the dude ended up buying, a lot of merch. It was cool,
So that's funny. I never knew why. I guess a lot of people always wondered, maybe they spelled it like that because of the Canadian band or whatever. But
I just didn't pay attention in school how to spell shit.
That's fucking amazing, man.
I spelled it like that, and I said, "Let me look in the dictionary." I was like, "I can't find this in the dictionary." And then it finally turns out that, oh shit, that the way you really spell it is like, fucking 20 letters.
Yeah.
And
it fucking worked out though. It worked out.
I came up with the name, and then just started looking for people, that I thought would be able to, pull it off band wise and stuff like that. Yeah. Which I met different people at shows, underground shows, and that's how I put it together.
Oh yeah, there was a question earlier. Did you write any of the stuff in Devastation, or was that already or who was the main writer?
In Devastation? Dark was. I might have thrown in like a little intro here or something here and there, but it was mainly, that's why the whole purpose of it was, at the time, was they only wanted one guitar player, because him and Rodney, I guess, wanted to Rodney had ideas, and I guess he would tell the guitar player, Dave Burke, and Dave Burke would translate it into, Rodney's idea, or Dave did a lot of the writing,
So with Annihilator, how long after you've got all the members in did you record the first demo?
Shit, it happened. I'd say a month after I left Devastation, I put Annihilator together, and it took us maybe I want to say maybe 4 months to actually write all these songs, because back then practice for Annihilator was Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, there's 6 or 7 songs on that demo or some shit.
It's been a while since I've seen that demo, but I think it's
let me show it to you right now then.
4 songs maybe, I think it is.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just, we were all pumped and excited and stuff. So like I said, practice back then was Monday through sometimes Sunday, 4 hours a day, because nobody was married, there are no responsibilities. Some of them work, some of the guys worked, some of them didn't.
You were kids.
Yeah. Well, they were kids. I was the oldest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
So the singer on the demo at the time was 17, 16.
So did you use the same recording technique on this? Hang the mics?
Well, this one, we went to this place called there was a music store that I forgot who, somebody knew the owner, and the guy ended up recording it for us. And I can't remember how he did how we recorded there. But the funny thing is, to me, I wish, I know it's gonna sound weird, but I wish this would have been our WARAG release.
Okay.
And the WARAG release would have been our demo.
Why do you say that?
Because this came out, the picking and the sound quality to me was a lot better than the EP. The EP was recorded when we got to deal with WARAGs, because it only took, after we recorded, I think it took us 4 months to write all that stuff, and then we recorded it and made demos. The following month, I went to, we would make these trips to San Antonio to Hogwild. And
oh yeah.
I mean, we would go and buy up shirts and all kinds of shit, man. And I would always go and buy all these zines, black and white zines, even though they were, 2 years old, whatever. I would buy all these zines, and I would look through them and look at the ads and shit. And I saw WARAG, so I ended up sending a demo to that WARAG. We're accepting demos. What the fuck's WARAG? And I put the demo in at one of the local record stores. I was kind of in there browsing. I saw WARAGs, Blood Comes, the hardcore series. I don't know if you remember that, where it didn't even have any kind of color. It was just like the sleeve of the album, and it had the whole split out, and it just had the information on the whole. And then they were like black and silver, and they would say like the hardcore series or things.
Yeah.
So as soon as I sent them something, 2 months later, we got a response.
Oh shit!
And he wanted to sign us, and of course back then it was like, yeah, fuck yeah, we'll do it. And of course we had to pay for our own recordings and shit. So I'm getting to the point where I wish the demo would have been our EP, and then the EP would have been our demo, because there was really no place to record. I mean, there was a lot of places to record in Corpus. I take that back, but they were all catered to Spanish music. There was a country recording place that charged a lot, but for country artists, and there was a lot of like Spanish music type recording studios.
Yeah.
Well, we chose a Spanish music type recording studio because it was cheaper, since we all had to pay for it. We all pitched in, and we booked our time at this place called Hacienda Records. I don't even know if it's around anymore. I haven't been in Corpus like in 5 years. I mean,
well, this will be the first time I mentioned. I'm sorry, this will be the first time I mentioned this on the show, but Freddie Records is in Corpus.
I think they were like way. I mean, they were already had their artists and shit. Like
hell yeah, I know.
They were too expensive. This Hacienda was like maybe like 3 blocks from my mom's house. In the it was like, all right. So we put the money down, and we decided, we went in there. Big ass fucking board. We're like, man, it's gonna come out badass, man. I don't know, like piano board, and everything was all wood and varnished, nice wood and carpet. Yeah. So the guy, we're used to all looking at each other play when we record. The guy puts us each in isolation booths. What the fuck?
Oh man.
So he tells us, okay, y'all ready? We had these earphones on, and isolation booths were all in these booths. So he goes, okay, go. And we start playing. And once we hit that first chord, it's like we use distortion. Whoa, hey, no. Hey, can you take the distortion off? What the fuck? No, it's going to work. You're going to blow my speakers and this and that. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's our sound. And once he said that, I was like, fuck, I think we're in trouble. So once we figured it out, how to use the distortion on it, which is not a very good, distortion on the album. It's kind of raw.
Right.
We started playing, and we would go over the songs. And since money was tight and we only had so much time, there was, there's some songs, or probably, a lot of spots where we're off timing. The timing's off. Right. But after we were done recording, it was like, hey, the guy, the engineer would say, would you like it? And we would kind of all look at each other and like, yeah, that sounds good. We'll take it. It's funny because nobody wanted to admit like, oh, dude, I messed up, or dude, you messed up. Then we give each other shit like, oh, hey, what the fuck? And you could have practiced. And so we all kind of just look at each other like, yeah, it sounds good. And it's like,
okay, good enough.
it's not good. You know, after we got the pressing back and everything, I was just like, shit, that's, you know, the picking is kind of like the guitar player we had at the time.
Yeah.
His name was Dave Trevino. He picked a lot different than, you know, the other guitar player, and you could kind of tell in spots and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
Well, it is raw, and the vocals are definitely more angry, I think, on this. Maybe because y'all were pissed off because of the way things were going.
He probably couldn't hear himself sing, so he was just fucking rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, probably, because the vocals definitely are more intense on this. But so I got to ask about the cover, man. What was that, a Wild Rags thing, or whose idea was this just to put the logo?
It was mine. Wild Rags, if you went and looked at everything they released before the Annihilator thing, it was just like I said, that hardcore series where just
the blood come. That's right. So, that blood come.
I asked the dude, you know, Richard C. We were talking, and he said, I go, hey, is there any way we can, you know, add like at least, you know, 1 or 2 colors to it? What do you mean? You know, because it was all about the money.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? And I said, yeah, well, can we just like put the logo in black, have a white album in the back, you know, still be black and white, but put some red in it where the skull's bleeding and all this and that. And he was all like, I'll get back to you. He came back. He's like, yeah, we can do it. It's in the budget. What budget? There's no fucking budget. It was like whatever.
It's in the budget.
Whatever he made that day off the record store was the budget, you know. It was hard record store, clothes store.
Yeah.
I never got to go see it, but from what people told me, it was like off of Whittier Boulevard, I think. And it was store.
So you never met Richard in person then?
Oh yeah, we met Richard. In fact, we had set up 3 shows for Blood Come in Texas, and he flew down with Blood Come, and we rented a van, and they jumped in the van with us. And,
okay. So I didn't know he was on that. I didn't know.
He was on that tour. Oh fuck yeah! I mean, that dude made out like a bandit with all the merch he sold and shit. You know.
Oh really?
Oh, I mean, the first show we played with Blood Come was in Corpus at this ballroom called La Terraza Ballroom off of Leopard, and it was probably like between I'm saying 600, maybe even 800 people there. You know.
No shit.
Yeah, it was insane, man.
Well, here's one I found.
Then we took it to McAllen, and we played there in McAllen, and there was like a shitload of people there too. This one was a weird one, dude. I think that was San Antonio.
Yeah, they fucked up your name.
Yeah, everybody fucks up our name. You know, ain't no, no, not that. You know,
Crippled by Society opened up. Badass.
I don't know. That one was like, it seemed like it was weird. It was like a house, dude. You walked in the door and they had a TV set with like a TV monitor where you could watch the show while it was going on. Because if I'm not mistaken, that place was tiny, you know. But I mean, it was still fun. I mean, those guys were. I mean, they were cool. And in fact, to this day, I mean, I'm still friends with Johnny Araya, and we lost touch for a little bit. Then he came through Corpus one time with this was like probably in the mid '90s with a band called Thine Eyes Bleed, and he was playing bass, and you know, we kind of reconnected there. I let them stay at my pad, and we've been friends ever since. I mean, still friends to this day. You know, just like the guys in Hex. I mean, when we played with them, I ended up staying connected with them too, and so yeah, I mean, Sadistic Intent, stuff like that.
Yeah, hell yeah. So after that, well, then you did the second EP on Wild Rags. It was like 3 songs, and then the live songs on the other side. What are your thoughts about that recording?
That was a different studio.
You know what? Let's listen to a little bit of it. This is No Future. Hell yeah. Oops. Hold on, wrong one. I meant to take that off and I put that on. But yeah, I had to turn it off because I'm gonna start fucking tearing shit down here at my house, man. But so anyway, thoughts on that recording? Like any memories of that one?
That one was done at this place called Apple Crate Studios, which was some guy. I don't even know how we met him, but this guy named George. I can't even remember his last name, but he had a house, and in the back of his house, he had a garage apartment that he converted into a recording studio. We ended up going there and recording, and I think this one was a little more easier to record. It wasn't no isolation booths or anything like that. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been bass and drums first, or maybe it had been all of us at once. I can't really remember, but I mean, like I said, that one, it is too what it is. I mean, I guess not having somebody that really knew how to record metal or any type of metal kind of hurt us in a way production wise.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's where the rawness comes in, which is, I guess, cool. You know, I mean, it's better than recording out of a boombox in your practice room sometimes. But, you know, I mean, like I said, the sound, it is what it is. I mean, for the time that the time, I guess the era of the year and stuff like that.
So I guess there was a little more money in the budget for artwork on this one.
Yeah, and then
before. I just got to say, this is like one of my favorite fucking like album covers. Talk a little bit about that, like whose idea was it, or how did that come together, putting that album artwork together?
Shit, we were chopping heads before the cartel war in Mexico. What makes me wonder where they got the idea from, huh? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
The machetes in there somewhere, the picture. It was the 80s. It was like, you know, the 80s. Everything was, if I'm not mistaken, my history might be off. I think Ronald Reagan was president at the time. Everything was about nuclear war. We're going to go to war, nuclear war, this and that. So I just kind of came up. We kind of kept the concept from the demo of the guy with a gas mask. I kind of just pictured, you know, like the first album is all the songs, the lyrics are like war, you know, I guess war themed.
Yeah.
And I kind of just wanted to, I gave the guy the idea on the demo to draw it, but I mean, it was a high school kid. I'm going to take that back. I don't even know who drew it, but they drew it the best they could. We took it. It was fine. This guy, this was drawn by a guy in high school at a high school. I was already out of high school, and I had this one friend who had a friend that went to this high school called Miller High School, and he was an artist. So I kind of gave them the concept to give to him, and that's where it came back. And I was like, oh shit, yeah. You know, I kind of told him I want the dead bodies here, and I want, you know, this there and this and that. I was real hands-on, like a lot more on the business side than music sometimes. You know, I let those dudes handle the music, and I was just more on the, you know, the booking and, you know, getting the demo out to magazines for reviews and this and that. There was little parts maybe here and there I might have contributed or help arrange stuff like that, but, you know, that was just, you know, what I did. So yeah, I came up with the concept and the idea. So, and I figured, you know, at the time, like Iron Maiden had a mascot, and you know, I was like, hey, we could turn this dude into a mascot, you know, fuck it.
Yeah. So with Devastation, your first show was opening up for Anthrax and Hellstar. What was the first? Did you mention what the first Annihilator show was?
No, the first Annihilator show was, I think, New Year's Eve. I want to say it was New Year's Eve. It was opening up for Anchor Wat.
Oh, okay.
At the Galvan Ballroom. They I remember they were looking for an opening act, and I guess one of our friends asked them if we could open up. We hadn't done shows yet. Excuse me. So they came over. I think it was Adam Grossman and a couple of the guys came over to see us practice. And after we were done, like, yeah, you guys can have the opening act. I was, all right. So that it was Anchor Wat. I believe it was like some New Year's Eve or close to New Year's Eve because I remember seeing a flyer where it said like New Year's Eve or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess Corpus eventually, I guess after like Devastation and Annihilator, then Anchor Wat came around, and
Well, actually,
who else?
it was like it was.
Acridity, I think, was from around there or something.
Acridity was from Victoria.
Oh,
they came, a little further on down the line. But I mean, I got to give props to Rodney Dunsmore, and no, I'm not sucking his ass or anything like that. So anybody out there saying, "Oh, you're sucking Rodney's ass,"
I could suck ass. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Pinche lampiache. What happened is he, like I said, started managing Final Assault. Decided to make his own band. So Final Assault was actually the first metal band to kind of do things different or set the tone, in other words.
Yeah.
He did Devastation and he set the tone. He raised the bar even further, so we followed him.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Anchor Wat it was Devastation, Anchor Wat, then us. Okay. And then after that, everybody started, forming bands, and it just kind of became different. There were a lot of different bands, and that came out of following, I guess, what we did.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. So you guys started getting, obviously, with like the rise of these bands or these bands starting up, you started booking your own shows there in town, right?
Yeah. We did the same thing. We'd rent a dance hall, VFW hall, boys club. We would rent out the back room where they had quinceañeras and
hell yeah,
all kinds of stuff. And we'd rent
DIY.
Yeah, we rent a PA. Somebody had a PA. We'd rent it out, and then charge like $5 at the door. We would go and print out flyers. A lot of times, my dad would help me out because he was like a president of his union. He was a refinery worker, and they had like a union hall that had a copy machine. So, hey, Dad, can you make 100 copies or 200 copies of this flyer? Yeah. Make copies, and we take. Oh shit, that's cool. We don't have to go pay a printing company to do it. So we would each get every day before a show we would walk on to high schools without security. There was no security guards there. You'd walk to high school when school was out and just start passing out flyers to the show. You hit one school, the next day you hit another school, the next day you hit another school. What helped Annihilator out was that each band member went to a different high school, so they would take care of their school.
Oh yeah.
Our singer, our singer Mark Arispe on the first record went to a high school called Ray High School, so he would take care of that. And then I was already out of high school, so I would just pick like Miller High School, walk on there, and hand them out. It was mainly the west. Well, when I say west side, it was mainly more Hispanic catered schools.
Yeah,
we send out our flyers to. It kind of really never worked out going like to the south side where people pop their collars and were surfers.
yeah.
You knew what audience to cater to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So what you mentioned like renting out halls and all that. Did you guys ever get like was there ever a venue that just somebody opened up a venue at one point and this is where you started having shows, or was it always you guys doing it everything?
There was actually a bar called Zeros that.
Yeah. I played there.
There was a bar called Zeros. I guess he just opened his doors to bands and everybody that was the one place that you didn't have to rent out. He would let you have the place and you could charge what you wanted at the door. And of course,
that place has been around that long.
Yeah, it's been around.
Holy shit! Wow, that's cool, man.
Wow. So we, I think that was the only bar that did that.
Here's another flyer.
Everything else was just rent it. We would rent stuff.
Blood Come Annihilator. Down in Edinburgh, Controlled by Society, $5.
Yeah, we did a lot of shows. There was a promoter down there, which I give him props. His name was Rick McGee, and we became friends. I became friends with him, and the dude, every time I wanted to bring, like, hey, you know, I got blood come, or I'll do it. I got nuclear death, you know, yeah, I'll do it. You know,
Yeah.
We set up 2 shows for nuclear death, and one in I don't know how come we did that. I guess I figured one was in Edinburgh and the other one was in El Paso. So I figured the second show was already on their way home. So because they were from Arizona, so they could play El Paso and then they have a couple of hours to get home or whatever. Where we played El Paso and we had fucking 8 hours to drive back. So I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot I had that flyer. The first show.
Yeah. Anchor what? Hell Dog.
Hell. Yeah. They weren't Hell Dogs yet. They were still Hell Dog, I guess.
Louis. Carizada.
Yeah. Yeah. Louis' band with the guys from S.A. Slayer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, let's backtrack a little bit. I wanted to ask you about that. That's a pretty infamous show. Did you see that Slayer versus Slayer show?
No,
you did it?
Nah, I didn't find out about it till like maybe a month or so after. So I didn't get to go, man. I missed out on it.
Oh, okay. So let's stay on the shows, because there's a lot of shit that I first time. Oh, so since I grew up near Houston, do you remember the first time you guys played Houston?
Oh no, I can't remember. I know where it was at, the Axiom, of course, but
yeah,
I can't remember. I know Bill Bates and Wes Weaver did that Sweet Nightmare show. And I remember Bill contacted us and said that I don't know if he had been playing our demo or he had heard our demo or something. And he's the one that, I guess, that they're the ones that introduced us to the Houston scene. And I guess with the help too of Paul Rubin and Sal and Splatteria, I mean,
yeah,
basically help us, get a little following here in Houston where we could actually, I would call JR up and ask him, hey, you all got anything? And I got this band coming from California. And at the time we weren't after like, well, we only want to play with violence, or we only want to play nuclear assault, or, we want to, it was like, yeah, we'll do it. You never heard of the band, but fuck it, just to play, we'll do it.
Yeah. Well, here's one. Speaking of Splatteria, Annihilator, Scum of the Earth, and Splatteria at the Axiom. With, of course, either Paul or Sal must have made this flyer. You could tell by the stuff that they did,
yeah, you can always tell.
But Ruben was telling me, I bring that up because he said when the first time you guys, I guess, came down that, I guess I say came down, I guess you came up, but that you couldn't find the Axiom. You went to like so many different places. You're like, he goes, what, Houston have like fucking 5 downtowns or some shit like that you guys were having a hard time finding the place.
Yeah, because I mean back then it's not like, oh, let me look at the GPS. It's 4 hours to Houston, and then the Axiom is right there. It's like, fuck, you got to fucking pull out a map, dude, and you got to route your way. And then when you get into Houston, it's like huge compared to Corpus, And,
of course.
For someone who's, I mean, I probably never started driving out of town till I started, just to San Antonio and back, but I never went beyond that until we started jamming. And well, we got to rent a van, or I'd borrow my dad's truck and throw everybody in the back of the fucking truck, get a U-Haul trailer and hook it up. And I would drive with, while these dudes were in the back baking in the fucking sun, because it was a pickup truck, 4 hours in the sun. They get there all fucking red as fuck, like they were laying out on the beach and shit. And we would drive, and the first time we played, we couldn't find, what the fuck, and tried it all the freeways here, just it was like, fuck, dude. We got there like an hour before we were supposed to play, and we're like, damn, you got 5 downtowns or what? Shit, man.
Yeah. He tells me he can't ever remember shit, but for some reason he remembers that. I don't know. This is something my buddy Charles sent me. I mentioned it to you before we came on live, but this is an actual set list from one of the shows in Houston.
Oh, Charles is a collector.
Charles Sepulveda?
Yeah, he collects stuff too. So
Yeah, he said it was. Well, it says here June 5th, 1988. He couldn't remember. I don't know if he remembered now, but who used to write out who used to make the set list?
I probably used to do most of them while everybody else, I would just figure out what in order what songs we should play or this and that. So
yeah,
I don't remember who we played with there.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he's got it. It says June 5th. See if I can zoom in. Like right there after on the corner, it says June 5th, 1988 set list.
Yeah. It's probably me that wrote out the set list. I mean, I was used to, writing out lyrics for the band,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the set list probably would just come natural, I guess. So it'd probably be me that wrote out the set list.
He also sent me this. You guys signed this for him, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's what came inside the White Album, I believe.
Yeah, yep. So
that was one thing I gotta give props to Wild Rags is Richard C. I mean, he was cool with us until towards the end where it was kind of a little weird, breaking off of Wild Rags. But he was a dude there. I mean, you got to realize there was no computers back then.
Right.
I would get mail from Japan. I would get mail from Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Switzerland. I mean, I would have stacks and stacks of mail come in. And this dude was good at getting shit out,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely got the label name out there. And Charles, I don't know what that pick is there. Is that – I don't know why that pick's in his picture. Maybe he got it at the show. I don't know. Charles, he's in the chat.
One of the guitar players' picks, probably.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if he included it in the picture, it's probably.
Yeah, Charles, whose pick was that? Or did you just forget to take the pick? Or was the pick holding down the picture? Oh, he got it from a guitarist. Yeah, okay. He said in the chat. So, let me see. Where are we going? Okay, but yeah, just wanted to share some of this stuff. There's a ton of shit. I gotta ask you about this one. Did this show happen? Because I know Necrovore didn't really play very much.
It happened with Cyrax.
Okay.
Necrovore ended up canceling for some reason. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't know. And another thing,
and then they added like 2 local bands to that bill. I think one was like named Mucus Membrane, and then I can't remember what the other band was. But
oddly enough, when I look at the flyer, you played on June 5th, the year before too. It's fucking weird. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, I don't. And another thing I noticed, Texas noisecore thrash. I mean, that's just something you don't really hear very much. It's like
I don't even know who made that flyer. I had nothing to. I might have been shit. I don't know who made that flyer.
Elks Lodge. Yeah, was this in San Antonio or where was this?
Corpus. That was like another dance hall.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, so I saw that.
Incubus was a cool show, and we did in Louisiana.
Oh yeah. You also did this one. This is one of the ones that I used to have on video, where you guys played at the Axiom with Incubus also, and Ruben and Sal. I guess Sal like introduced you guys, and Ruben used to say that they used to fucking like come with like hammers or some shit like that and terrorize you guys.
They were throwing glitter. If they weren't throwing glitter while we played, they were ahead of their time throwing glitter.
Yeah,
they weren't throwing glitter. They would fucking bring a hammer and fucking like while you were playing, or they get their fist, and while we were playing, they would fucking stomp on your foot. All in good fun.
Of course.
Those guys are awesome, man. Splatteria was also like one of those bands that was ahead of their time. It was like they didn't give a fuck about shit. They didn't want any glory. They didn't want to be popular. The less people knew about them, the better.
Right.
I remember one time, just real quick. I remember one time I had already moved out of the house and I was living somewhere else. And my mom called me and she's all like, hey, mijo, you got a package in the mail. And I was like, okay, well, open it. All right. So she didn't say who it was from. It was like delivered like FedEx or something like that. So she opened it and she's quiet. I said, well, what is it? She's all like, I don't know. I don't know. This isn't right. I go, what is it? She said, there's a bunch of little baby heads and baby body parts, like plastic little baby inside the I don't know. I think it's brujeria, mijo. I don't think it's. I went after work, and I went after work, and I looked inside the. I went after work, and I looked inside the what do you call it? The envelope. I poured out all this baby heads and little body parts from these little plastic little babies or whatever, and there's a fucking letter from Ruben. He sent me I don't know, I can't remember what he sent me. I think it was patches, Batteria patches.
Did it have sawdust and glitter inside there too?
It had all kinds of shit. I can't remember, little bicycles. And
I remember opening that fucking. I remember opening a package. Like, never open a package from Ruben. Like, if you got carpeted flooring, because I busted open because it was hard to open. He makes it impossible, like on purpose, to make it hard to open. And then I remember opening it up, finally getting poof, fucking sawdust and glitter fly everywhere, man.
Yeah, when I would get an envelope from Ruben or them, I look at it. I said, okay, it doesn't look like there's a rat. You know, he was notorious for rats in the mail, dude. He would mail a dead rat to I don't know, different people or whatever. I was like, stop that. I'm not gonna open it up. So.
Yep. Oh, here's the show you were talking about when you guys played in New Orleans.
Yeah, Dead Horse didn't make it. They broke down, but that was a hell of a show, man. That was a good show.
Incubus, Devastation, and Annihilator. And Dead Horse. Damn, that would have been a fucking decent show there. Jesus.
Yeah. That was a decent one. That was a good one. a funny little, I guess, fun fact, if you want to say that or whatever.
Yeah.
Ruben had introduced us, I guess, to Incubus and them, and Paul and them too. Had introduced us to Incubus, and we did some shows with them. After we did that show in Louisiana with them, about a few months later, I get a call, and it's I think it was Moses or Francis. I think it was Francis. They were getting ready to move to Florida, and he had asked me if I wanted to join the band to play bass.
Oh, no shit.
To move to Florida, because I think at the time they were getting ready to get signed to Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
And they were going to go on tour or whatever. And it was like, I was like, well, can I have some time to think about it? And they were like, no, I mean, I need to know now. And I was like, it was like the spur of the moment. It caught me off guard. I was like, I don't think I'll be able to do it. So,
damn. That's fucking crazy.
Pretty fun.
Here's a photo from you guys playing
Axiom.
The Axiom. Yeah. I was trying to figure out who that could be in the crowd, but I couldn't make anybody out. That might be Paul right there on the left. I don't know. Kind of hard to figure. Kind of hard to tell who's who in this thing, but
yeah.
But I just remember the curtain, of course. So what was some of the wildest, or what was, I guess, the show that stood out for you from way back when that you guys played?
It had to be with, hands down, Slayer. When we opened up for Slayer in San Antonio on I believe it was the South of Heaven tour.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't find a flyer for that.
It's funny because I think back, and I think at the time that we got that show, I think Devastation was out of town or touring somewhere. So otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would have gotten it because they always played at the showcase. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Rodney had called me up and said, hey, Slayer's playing at this place called the Showcase in San Antonio. Rodney called me up and said, hey, they're looking for an opening act. And I said, are they? He goes, yeah. He goes, here's the guy. Call the guy. His name was, I think it was Joe Anthony was his name. He had the name of the production company was Jam Productions. So I don't know if it was Joe Anthony Miller. That's what it Jam stood for. But yeah, I ended up calling the guy up. I actually got a hold of him, and I asked him, we'd like to open up. And I explained who we were, this and that. And he was like, well, put together a package, send it to me, and I'll put you in line with all the other bands that want it. I said, okay. So at the time, the White Album had already come out. So I stuck the White Album in there, flyers, decked it up kind of nice, and stickers and all that. And I started thinking, I almost didn't send it because I was like, why am I going to send it? We're from Corpus. Dude, there's plenty of San Antonio bands, that'll fit in with Slayer at the time. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I said, fuck it. I mailed it off, went to the post office, mailed it off. About 3 weeks later, I get home and my mom says, somebody named Joe Anthony called from San Antonio, said he needs you to call him back. Like, oh shit, let me see. So call him back, and the guy tells me, he goes, I was impressed with your package. He said, I think we're going to use you all to open up. I was like, oh, fuck. He goes, how much do y'all charge? And I said, nothing, dude. We'll do it for free, man. We just want to jam with Slayer. We'll do it for free. And he said, the guy goes, I thought you were a little more professional than that. I can get any band to do it for free. Let me ask you again, how much? And I was like, $60. I thought that was too much. I was like, $60. If you guys show up at this time, blah, 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 blah. That time came for the show, and we show up, and we're unloading our stuff in the back. And a couple of roadies for Slayer said, well, y'all the opening act? And we're like, yeah, it was just us and Slayer. He goes, well, good luck. And I was like, good luck. He said, yeah, the band, I don't know who, they played the night before in Dallas, I think. I'm not too sure if it was Dallas, but the night before, whoever opened up for him got booed off.
Oh, shit.
If you remember right, if you remember following Slayer, anybody that opened up for Slayer would get the Slayer chant, Slayer.
Yeah.
They wouldn't finish shit. They'd have to get off, people booing and shit. And I was like, great, man. I'm always on cloud nine. I'm like,
yeah, but you're getting $60, man. You're getting $60, man.
$60 to get Slayer. So I got the guys together and I told them, look, I said, what we need to do is play song after song, start the next one, start the next. Don't give any time in between to breathe or just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
We went up there, we fucking played our set, it was sold out. We played our set and we didn't get like Slayer or boo.
Badass.
Played our shit and we walked out. I was like,
Carl wants to know, was it Joe Anthony from 99.5 KISS in San Antonio?
I'm not too sure if it was him or not. Like I said, I know whoever ran that production company, Jam Productions, they were involved with like doing a lot of the bigger shows like Slayer and all that. If that was the guy or not, I kind of thought about it for a while. Like, well, JAM, Jam, Joe Anthony Miller.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure if he was actually tied into it or not.
Well, here's something. Did you write like are you the one that wrote the tour report for them, or was that Richard that did that? Or
yeah, Richard. Yeah, Richard did all the tour. I don't know who he had writing for them. If he had people actually in different cities write for him.
Yeah, but
I'm not too sure. Oh, another badass show was Mexico City when we got to play in Mexico City.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. That was going to be the next one. I was going to ask. You played at the fucking Rock Center, I think.
Yeah.
This one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk about that. That had to be fucking nuts.
That was good, man. That was fucking badass, man. Shout out to my buddy Pancho.
Yeah, Pancho from Anarchist?
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and there's another friend of mine named, I don't know if he played with that band, but he used to play with damn, now my mind went blank. Anyway, he was connected to the promoter that did those shows. He would help them out.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was he in Annihilator at Inferno? Or he was.
Pancho? Or Pancho was in Pactum. He was an Anarchist. He was in Cacophonia.
Does he live in Chicago?
Oh, Cenotaph?
No. Anyway, he knows who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he helped out with a promoter with those shows. Like, in fact, like with Sepultura and all the bands he would bring, he was like a runner for the company. But that was a really badass show, man. That's like, they bought us tickets, flew us out there, picked us up at the airport. As soon as we got into the car that picked us up, we're driving. The first thing he says is, we're gonna do a radio interview, and then after that, we're gonna do a signing at some flea market, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. So we do the radio interview, then we're driving to the flea market, and we're driving. There's a fucking line, dude, just down the street. I mean, a long line around the corner, around this way, and I was like, what are these people waiting for? And the driver was like, you guys. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. So we went into the flea market and had a little booth, and people came by. We signed the albums, and it's funny because the promoter tells us, hold on, it says my battery's running low.
Yeah, you need to plug in your battery.
He says, it's funny because he says, the promoter tells us, when you're doing this autograph signing, I don't want any of y'all to speak Spanish. None of y'all. I was like, okay, right, because you're from America, so you don't speak Spanish. Okay, all right. So people would come by and sign our album and start talking to us in Spanish or whatever, and we're like, huh, what? Huh? Of course, and we knew what they were saying, but you know, my Spanish was pretty bad, but
yeah. I think Brad, my buddy from Chicago, says it was maybe Alfonso Cuevas.
Alfonso. I think
Yeah. Wait, is this the guy? Is this you? Apollo Bass? Because he said
yes,
he said,
that is him.
Okay. That's the guy that brought you to Mexico City?
No, he's the guy that helped out. He helped the promoter to bring us to.
Oh, okay.
He was like a runner, you know. And it's weird because when I first got on Facebook, I remember him, you know, finding me on Facebook. Was like, yeah, you know, I was the guy that this and that, and I was like, oh shit, you know. So he's a good friend.
Oh, here's Carl said he saw a local open for Slayer back in the day. Everyone sat down with their backs facing the stage, yelling Slayer.
I think they did that in San Antonio for Hella Waits and the Hella Waits tour. I think I saw that. The San Antonio band, everybody turned around and just like.
Well, I've heard they did the Slayer chant for Wasp too.
Yeah, they did it in Corpus too. Everybody was like fucking telling Wasp.
Fucking Slayer, man.
Oh, also forgot to say, dude, I've seen a lot of your shows that you do, and
yeah,
I'm not really. I feel bad because everybody that you've interviewed has fucking badass albums in the back and.
No, hell no. You got a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I got a Christmas tree, but I live with 3 women, so it's like I don't have a man cave. You know what I mean? It's like I could probably clean a corner in the garage and turn it into my man cave.
No, it's cool, man.
It's not cool because
everybody wants to hear it. Everybody likes the stories, man. This show has been fucking great, dude. I'm enjoying the stories. I know everybody is. We've had a lot of people like just tune in and hang out the whole time. So that's a sign that the show is going good when people aren't fucking leaving or whatever. So I'll give everybody a chance to ask some questions here in a little bit, but but yeah, no, hell no. Who cares about backgrounds? Backgrounds are dumb. There was another one I wanted to ask you about, and then we'll move on to like the latest. So you used to do interviews, and I think I told you this. So Paul, speaking of Houston, you know, these guys did an interview with you, and Splatteria guys being Splatteria guys, Paul had put this photo in his zine, and they fucking drew dumb shit all over it.
Yeah.
Fucking dumbasses. I was looking through some shit. I was like, I remember fucking Paul doing that. Oh, here's a cool photo, man. Do you remember where this was at and what's going on here?
Yeah, that was like one of the shows in Edinburgh at the Sun Palace, and I believe I don't remember who we might have been, us headlining and just like local bands, and I think it was like local bands, and maybe we bought some bands from Corpus to play with us.
Look who showed up, fucking Sal. I knew Sal would pop in.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Think if he's a fucking Yankee now, man. He got a driver's license from Rhode Island now.
Hey, I'm still waiting for my barbecue. Where the fuck?
You and everybody, you're still waiting.
You invited me to a barbecue, and now you live in fucking the East Coast. Sal.
Fucking Sal. What the fuck, Sal?
Sal used to go visit me in Corpus when he had a job.
When he had a job.
Working they had just put an ice ring, a hockey ring, because Corpus got an amateur hockey team, and they were building the ice ring. His company that Sal worked for, he went to Corpus to build it, and one day I hear a knock at the door, open the door. He's like, "Hey, what's up? What the fuck you doing?" He remembered my house from, I guess, the address on the albums or whatever.
Oh, yeah, total fucking stalker. Somebody chimed in. They said they think it was Heaven that opened up on the Born Again tour.
Yeah, it might have been Heaven. I think it might have been. Well, they were called Heaven Bent or some shit like that, or Heaven, or I don't know.
Cleo Street. Was it Cleo
Hey,
Street?
Don't be giving out my mom's address. No, we don't have that house no more. It's okay. Y'all can do that house, man.
He said him and his cousin Zeke, I think, are the ones that went by.
Yeah, I think that's because he has just gotten out of prison or something like that. I don't know. Let him tell you the story.
My buddy Billy says, it's time to take down that Christmas tree. It's fucking almost New Year.
I would set it out by the curb, but it's fake. So, that means I have to take it down and put it up in the attic. So we'll leave it up there a little bit. Is that Billy Chocolate?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Camarada Billy Chocolate.
Yeah, dude. All right, so let's move into sort of current times. You was this 2016 when you recorded this?
Yeah. Actually, we did it in 2018.
2018?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, it was 2018. We recorded. It took a while for us to get it out because the guy we recorded with was supposed to be mixing it, and he was hard to get a hold of. It almost took like a whole year.
What?
Yeah, before we could actually, get it to Extreme Music.
Where'd you record it
at? This one guy we found
in Houston, or
actually he had a fifth, one of those what they call fifth wheel trailers.
Yeah.
And he had a recording studio in there because you know how nowadays everything's computer, laptop, whatever.
Well, this is time for me to plug my buddy Mike Barbecue. Anybody in Houston needs to record anything, go to my buddy Mike Barbecue. He does badass jobs on all kinds of shit, from metal to wimpy shit and everything.
Oh, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah. Mike Barbecue does a great job. He did the last Imprecation albums. We recorded there with him, and he's in Spring.
There you go, people. You heard it first out here.
Yeah. Mike, I'm plugging your shit, Mike.
Support your locals. Support your locals.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. So anyway, talk a little bit about this. I guess briefly about this kind of recording. What happened? How'd this come about?
I had a friend that it was weird. I get a call from this friend of mine telling me, "Hey, there's this guy from Greece that wants to put out your demo on vinyl." I'm like, "Huh?" And I was like, "All right, well, have him call me or whatever." So the dude called me from Greece and says, "I want to put your demos out on vinyl." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "And any other unreleased material you have, and this and that." So the guy ended up.
That's it right there, right?
Yeah, that one right there. He ended up. His name is John. I can't pronounce. I'll butcher his last name, John K. But he had Weird Face Productions was the name of his label, and he goes on Facebook. He goes by John Couch. I think it's Couch Slouch or something like that.
Couch Slouch.
He wanted to do it and this and that. So yeah, I gathered all the stuff. But anyway, that's limited to, I want to think 250 only.
Do you still have copies?
That's all. I still got a few. I think I got about maybe 20 left.
So if somebody wants one, can they just find you on Instagram or something to get a copy? Or
you can find me on Instagram, or you can find me on you can go to the Annihilator site on Facebook.
Okay, I'll put all the links up.
It's Annihilator TX. It's not just Annihilator, because there's a lot of different, I don't know, fan pages and fake pages with Annihilator shit on there. So it's Annihilator TX. And you'll be able to message me. I still have a few of those.
I'll whenever it's over, when I can edit the description, I'll put all the links to all your stuff where they can get it.
So the guy is a real cool dude, man. I mean, I speak nothing but praise on him. He one day we're talking on a messenger, right? And he's all like, "Hey, I know somebody that might be interested in putting out your stuff on CD and stuff, the old recordings." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He's a friend of mine. His name's Dave Rotten. And I was like, Rotten, I've heard that name before, you know. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, he's a fan of you guys from what I understand. And I was like, "Well, shit." Yeah. So he right away that same day he's telling me this, he connects me on Messenger to Dave Rotten. "Hey, what's up? This and that." He said, "Yeah, I'll put out I'll put out a CD with all your some unreleased stuff, demos about, that first album, the first EP, the second EP, and all this and that."
Yeah.
After he put that out, kind of in the process while he was getting ready to put that out, it's called the Mission of Death album. It's the Mission of Death EP. I'm sorry. I mean, EP. Shit. Mission of Death CD. He put that out on Extreme Music. I kind of hit him up and said, "Hey, would you be interested in some new music?" And he's all like, "New and other music?" Yeah. He goes, "Yeah, I'd be interested in that." "What are you looking at?" I said, "Probably just an EP also." He said, "Yeah, I'd be interested in that." I said, "Cool." I go, "How many songs you have written?" And I told him, "Oh, we got 5 songs." And they have shit written, dude. I just say, "Oh, we got 5 songs." Writing everything. The last song was written right before we went into the studio the next day. So it was just real quick. Everything came about it real quick. And that's how we ended up getting that album out. That EP out on Extreme was because Dave had, put the Mission of Death collection,
right,
EPs out before this one, and I just hit him up and he did that. And Extreme Music they're good to us. A lot of shit, a lot of magazines came our way, a lot of reviews. He's Dave knows his shit, and he's been at it for so long.
Hell yeah, man. So recently I heard, and I saw him in here earlier, but JD's gonna be, is he in the band now, or if you want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the band, like as of now.
As of now, I have a totally different lineup than what was on the Blue EP, that existing. I forgot what, I can't even think what the other one's called. Rise to Supremacy, the one you just showed.
Yeah.
COVID came and everything got shut down, and just lost contact with everybody, and everybody went on to do their own thing, and I just decided to try something different, using different musicians at this time in the band. So JD De La Rosa, he's from McAllen or that area. Some of you people might know him from Severance. What is it?
Dagra.
Yeah, Dagra.
Yeah, JD, is he gonna play drums or guitar?
See, right now, the good thing, like with JD works in a recording studio.
Yes, he does.
So what I guess the plan we're planning on doing is every time we finish a song, or we just go in there and record it, and put it away, and just keep adding to it until we have what as many songs as we have. We want. And so JD for the studio can do both. He can play guitar and drums. And when we hit the stage live, it's whatever. If we can find a drummer, then JD will go on guitar. If we can't find a drummer, then JD will go on drums, and then we'll just get a guitarist. So it works out like that. So he also, I think him and his wife just formed a band themselves. Hexeya, yeah. Oh, I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, JD.
Yeah. Oh no, I got corrected. That's why I know.
Okay, cool. they formed a band. So go check out his bands. They're
JD. He's one of those guys that can play everything, man. He can play everything.
He is. I don't want to even. I don't want him to think it's an insult, but he's like the Dave Grohl of fucking extreme music. Play guitar, because we used them for Mexico. as a guitarist because when I was
Yeah, that's right.
couldn't get a passport, so JD filled in, and then we got back. We lost our drummer. We ended up losing our drummer, and JD ended up playing shows for Annihilator as the drummer, like maybe 5 shows, I think, or something like that.
Damn.
And so it it worked out. So yeah, we have JD on drums and guitar.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the studio stuff.
Yeah.
Also have Dave Relic, aka Dave of Death, aka Lawyer, aka from Oath of Cruelty and PLF or
PLF. Yeah, he's Oath of Cruelty, PLF.
Yeah, from we got him, and then from your band too.
Yeah, I've known him since he was like 14, 15-year-old kid, man. So
damn.
Yeah.
I mean, from the little time I do know him, he's like, I mean, super cool, real laid back, and he's also in the band playing guitar, and then myself on bass, and then right now we're just writing songs, in the process of writing stuff,
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. You got two pretty good, more than capable fucking players there, man, with JD and Dave. So.
Yeah, I mean they're I mean if you cut them, dude, they'll bleed metal. Fucking any kind of metal, thrash, extreme, whatever, grind. Those dudes are just live and breathe it. You know what I mean? They're like lifers. They're not. We're gonna play. I'm gonna be in a band for 3 or 4 years and then stop and raise a family and do this and that and then decide to come back 50 years later or whatever and do it. I mean, these dudes, they're if you look at their record, dude, I mean, they've toured Europe with their bands. I mean,
no, they
more than once. I mean, they've gone out there and done shit like that. So
absolutely. So what about on vocals? Have you is that do you still have a vocalist or?
No, right now there's a couple of people we have in mind, but that's just like the minute. It's not even a thing to worry about. Once the music's recorded, it's just easy to give somebody or whoever we decide to get. There's a couple of people.
There's a guy in Houston named Fraser. I don't know if you know him. I think he'd be a pretty good fit.
I don't know, man. His post, I can't understand half his post, so he might have. I mean, the British accent might be coming through a little bit. Or something.
Fraser's the new singer of Annihilator. Badass.
Well, I've asked some established people that.
Hell yeah, man.
I've asked some established people that are in really known bands, but it so happened that the timing is off. They have projects that are either out or coming out, and we're excited that I actually asked them and honored, but they just couldn't do it.
Right.
So
yeah, it happens. But yeah, I mean, once you get the get the songs going, that'd be cool, man. Looking forward to that. Let me see what else. There was something else I was going to ask you about that I had a photo of. Well, we didn't really. I guess I kind of skipped. I didn't really do it on purpose, but after Annihilator was like, I guess, pretty much the lineup. Most of the lineup in Annihilator ended up recording this, right?
Yeah. The last part of Annihilator. We had a different guitar player than the guy that was on the 2 EPs. We ended up getting a different guitar player for that, and I had talked to Richard from Wild Rags, and I told him, look, man, I mean, I kind of at the time, I wanted to go further, I guess like I figured because I had sent a lot of fucking albums and demo tapes off to record labels, and nobody ever kind of, I guess, bid on it to try to. I think New Renaissance was the only one that kind of sent us letters, said they were interested, but
okay. And
I thought it was because, you got to remember when I named the band Annihilator back in the 85, 86. I always say this: there was no internet, So you don't know who had a band with the same name. Like there was Devastations, there was two Slayers. Like you can say there's two Slayers.
Yeah.
Nobody knew until you open up a zine and said, "Oh fuck, there's a band called so." Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the other Annihilator from Canada landed on Roadrunner or Road Race or whatever it was called at the time, and videos on MTV. They were huge. I kind of wanted to, try to get I wanted to try to get the band signed because I mean, like every kid or every person that young, you want to get signed, want to tour, you want to do this, and I felt like the name was holding us back. So I came up with the name Sufferance, and I told Richard about it, and I said, "Hey, let's do a little promotion. We're gonna change our name to Sufferance, and you can put it in the Wild Rag magazine that we're changing our name, and whatever, and let's sell these 2-song demos for $1 in the mail, and let's get the word out like that." So that's how we ended up doing the 2 songs. Those songs actually we played them as Annihilator, but we never recorded them because I went back and I looked at the show we did in New Orleans with Incubus and Devastation, and one of the songs is from the 2-song Sufferance cassette. One of those songs was already playing live, so it's just like, I guess what would have been the next step in the Annihilator, I guess progression.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me see. I was looking back at that flyer that I showed earlier, see if those songs were on that one, but I don't know. I don't know if they were or not. All right, man, we're going to start wrapping this up. I didn't realize this has been going so cool. I didn't realize how much time we've been talking already. It's like almost 2 hours, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
No. I could be on here all night. I just don't want to keep you up more than I need to. You know what I mean? More than you want to be. So
I'm off tomorrow because tomorrow's my wife's birthday. So I'd like to tell my wife, Jamie, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right, so I'll give this everybody a chance to ask something. If you have any questions, I think we've covered quite a bit.
If anybody's still awake, shit, everybody's probably asleep because they got
work. Man, everybody's been been rowdy in the chat, man. They've been rowdy. So while people are racking their brains, I got to ask you about this photo. This one, like, what the hell? What's this, man?
That was when me and one of the guitar players for Sufferance, we had there was a company called Sector 2, I believe, that was here in Houston that we kind of got signed to, I guess. We signed a contract with them. They paid for our recording, and they flew me and the guitar player out to LA to Paramount Studios to mix the thing, to mix the recording. And they set us up at it was like a condo off of Sunset Strip. And we had just come from the studio, and we were going to go out and go hit some bars or something like that. And we were sitting there, and this dude, MC Hammer, comes walking out of the fucking elevator with with his entourage and shit. And I was like, what the hell? So our guitar player, hey, can we take a picture with you? Yeah, so we each got a picture with him. But funny, that same night, do you remember that Family Matters with Urkel?
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know if that was before your time or not, but
I'm
Eddie Winslow, I think his name was Eddie Winslow, the character. He was the son.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're at the bar at the hotel, and there's some dude playing piano, and we're just sitting there drinking, and you can hear him. I look at my friend, the guitar player. I was like, who the that sounds like fucking shit, dude. Fuck. So I asked the bartender, I go, is it like, open mic night? And he goes, no. He goes, that's the guy from Full House. Family Matters. I go, what? He goes, yeah, the son, that Eddie Winslow guy, that's him playing, dude. He was with his entourage. So we're sitting at the bar. The dude comes and stands between us, and he's all like, what's up? What's up? We're supposed to know who he is, and I'm just
yeah.
Whatever, dude. You sound like shit. And he goes back and he starts playing again the piano. I was like, damn, dude, fucking. At least it's not like the time I met Paul Bailoff in Sufferance that played at the Omni in Oakland. And yeah, we had played at the Omni in Oakland, and it was funny because I was hanging out by the bar, right? And I'm there at the bar getting a drink, and then some dude comes up right next to me. I'm not paying attention. He goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" I go, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "I'm Paul Bailoff." I said, "Oh shit." He goes, "Buy me a beer." He's like, "Buy me a beer." I was like, "Fuck yeah," you know. And the dude's walking around with a jersey shirt that says Paul and the back Bailoff. Paul Bailoff, man.
He's just going around fucking asking everybody to buy him a beer.
People, "Hey, Paul Bailoff." "Oh no shit, buy me a beer." Fuck yeah, fucking beer. Shit.
He's fucking wasted by the time the night was over.
His big ass fucking fro, like.
He wears a shirt. He wears a jersey with his name on it. Badass.
The Paul on the back Bailoff. That's all.
I'm Paul Bailoff. Buy me a fucking beer.
Buy me a beer. Yeah, buy me a beer. Shit, yeah. That was before cell phones. I couldn't take a picture or anything like that.
Yeah. Shit. That rules, man. I'm Paul Bailoff. Buy me a beer.
Buy me a beer.
Yeah. All right. Anybody got any final questions before we call it a night? This has been a blast, man.
I was gonna say something. Are you allowed to give shit away on this show?
Yeah, you can get whatever you want as long as
I don't even know who's still watching it or not, but
no, that's the thing. People watch it now. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a couple of shirts. So this and that. It says in the back, Texas Thrash.
Okay.
I was gonna try to do a little thing. If
go ahead.
If you are interested in a shirt, I'm gonna give away. I got 3 shirts. I'm gonna give away 3 shirts. But the catch is, if you can send 25 of your friends to the Annihilator TX website and have them follow us, and then send me a list of your friends. DM me on the Annihilator page. Send me a list of your friends that have gone ahead and followed us. Yeah, I will send you a shirt for free.
There you go.
I'm going to do only 3 shirts because I got a medium size, and I got for the big fat beer drinkers, double XL, and then I have an extra large. So if any of those sizes fit you, I feel like being like Oprah. I feel like giving away shirts. So you can send 25 people because I'm trying to up the numbers on our Facebook page. So you can send 25 of your friends to follow us. Then send me the list. I'll check it out. So the first people that can do that, I'll send you a shirt. But another catch to that is it has to be here in the States. No overseas.
Yeah. It costs like $300 to ship something.
So they ain't gonna get shit won't get mailed out. So only in the States.
Ruben's crying because he said I didn't ask his question. I don't know what he asked. What'd you ask, Ruben? I don't have 25 friends. They got a bunch of losers over here. No, but if anybody who just wants to, so go to tell everybody go to the Annihilator. I'll put the link on the description after I'm able to edit it and get you a shirt. Still support the band. He's got those cool as double LP demos, like an unreleased demo from 90 and like the 87 demo and the EPs and all that crap. So get on that. Fucking Ruben. He's still a fucking asshole. When will this interview finally be over?
No. What are you worried about, Ruben? You don't even have a job. You can stay up all night.
Yeah, 50 friends for a record.
Come on now. Come on. Quit trying to party like that.
Yeah, but anyway. Well, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on here, man. This was a fucking blast.
Can I promote one more thing, and then I'll cut out of it. I'm also starting a new project with some friends in Corpus called Ill Adjusted. It's kind of a crossover, older hardcore type music with this friend of mine that's in a band called Drastic Actions, which is he's kind of like equivalent to me in the metal scene in Corpus, but he's like that with the punk and hardcore scene. His name is Arnulfo Guterres.
Okay.
And,
oh yeah, he's been in the chat.
Yeah,
I've seen him in the chat all night.
Yeah, he probably has to work, man. He's probably in bed already because he wakes up like at 3 or 4. But you know,
yeah, I've seen him comment like several times already.
Yeah, I'm starting something with him here coming up this year coming up 2022, and there's some friends of mine that guys I've known for a long time, Hector Juarez and Matt Wood, and this drummer Joshua. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you like old kind of crossover, kind of hardcore music,
like
Mags,
like Crumbsuckers, like when you play with Crumbsuckers.
Nothing technical like that, but oh yeah, the Crumbsuckers.
Yeah. Crossover, 80s crossover shit.
Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah, that's badass.
Okay, man. So
no. Anything? Anybody else you want to give I guess a shout to or anything? A shout out, if you will.
Shout out
before we go.
Wolf Skull. They fucking kick ass, man. If you haven't heard that band, you gotta fucking listen to them. They fucking.
Arnulfo's still here, he said.
Oh, watch out! Hey, man, I'm sorry I kept you up late, brother. Yeah, Wolf Skull kicks ass. Listen to them. They're bad.
Fraser just heard Broken Bones last week. Now he's like a Broken Bones. He's an expert on Broken Bones now.
Oh yeah.
Fucking poser ass Fraser. But anyway, well, hey man, if you don't mind, stick around for a little bit while I guess tell everybody that we're about done. But man, this was fucking a blast, man. It was one of the easy, like, most fun ones that I've done. I mean, I've liked all of them, but this one went fucking well. So I thought it went fucking real well. So appreciate all the stories and all that shit that you shared with us.
Remember, cool. Annihilator TX, man. That's where you get
later TX.
Make sure you got to put TX at the end of Annihilator, because if not, it'll lead you to the fake.
Yeah. Then you're gonna meet Alice in Hell. If you do.
Alice in Hell.
All right. Hey, well, I'll be with you in a minute, man. I'll put you in the backstage, and I'll be right there.
All right. Thanks, Francisco, and
yeah, man. Thank you.
Around and listen to my old man ranting. So.
No, it was fucking great, man. Appreciate it. I'll be right with you. All right, there we go. Everybody, appreciate it. If this is your first time checking out the show, I appreciate it. There's a ton of fucking conversation chat shows or whatever, all kinds of stuff on the channel. Bunch of dumb shit too that I do. Don't be a fool. There you go. Don't be a like Unknown says, don't be a fool in 2022. Yeah, so appreciate everybody hanging out. It was cool. Easily I need to put that on a shirt. Don't be a fool in 2022. Corpitos. Yeah. Corpus, man. Corpus. So, but yeah, again, thanks, man. It was cool. I'm glad I was able to squeeze this one in. Check out, like I said, appreciate everybody hanging out. If you like the show, just tell everybody about it. Share it around everywhere. If somebody wasn't able to make it live, these shows are all on YouTube. They're archived on YouTube, so you can go back and watch them anytime you want. Unless I delete them, but I'm not going to eat them. I'm not going to delete them. Unless Fraser's in them, I might delete those. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. I know I did. A lot of cool stories I didn't know about. Catering. What's the catering like back here? We have. I need to get a V8 sponsorship, man. That's what I need to get. Fucking V8. Anybody out there got connections with V8? Tell them I fucking promote them all the time. So anyway, but yeah. Thank you all very much. Tell everybody about the show. Keep jamming out all badass, man. And tomorrow, check the channel. Come check out the channel. It's going to be a lot of crazy people coming in here. People from Necrotomy, Anal Cunt. Who else? Quite possibly Impetigo, Cryptic Slaughter guys. Gave me a big maybe. So just coming up here bullshitting, talking about whatever the hell comes up. So Tino, holy shit, Tino was here. Thanks. Hey Tino, I'm glad you finally checked out the show, dude. Shit. All right. So let's keep jamming out all that ass. It's time for the best song ever written in the whole fucking world.